Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at level limit break 5. 6+, God, Kami, Eneru, and in today's video, we're taking him into two pieces of content. We're taking him on into Bone Kichi Brook Arena, as well as Revolutionary Army 2, having a chat about the level limit break and sort of the buffs this character received with level 5. Now, I do understand that most people aren't going to have this character level 5, level limit break, and honestly, I don't really see him being needed in, like, Grand Voyage and that anytime soon, so he's not a character that I would invest in. However, his level limit break is very interesting and is something that I actually am really excited for, and was one of the ones when I first read it, I was, like, really looking forward to playing around with this particular character. Now, this particular unit's playstyle isn't really my particular playstyle per se, but I can appreciate what he used to be able to do and how, like, he used to be able to clap content with, like, overhealing mechanics and stuff like that, as well as the buffs that he did receive. Now, his captain ability got a very, very significant buff. Massive, massive buff. At level 3, you get the captain buff, and then at level 5, you get the special buff. But his captain buff is the thing that got, like, the biggest buff, in my opinion. He still cuts the crew's HP by 20%, but then reduces damage taken by 15%. I do believe it used to be, like, 12% initially. He then boosts crew's attack by 4.5, up to 5.25, depending on how much HP healing in the previous turn. He boosts the chance of landing on recovery slots, makes recovery slots have matching slot effects, and if the normal attacks are super effective on the enemy's types, changes that character's slot to recovery at the start of the next turn. He also allows 2 times overheal, and as you guys can see here, that is very, very important. Now, if you are hitting with type advantage, as you guys have been sort of seeing on these first couple stages, I have been sort of stockpiling meat orbs. You want to get as much overheal with this particular character as possible, because if you heal past the maximum HP, his special is very, very powerful. The whole idea of this particular character was to have low HP, that's why he cuts his HP by 20%. For the team, and then when you heal over your maximum HP, it goes into a stockpile to do damage with his special. That damage did cap out at 5 million damage, which back in the day was actually very, very powerful. Without normal attacks only, and with bosses having a lot lower HP, the 5 million was very, very easy to attain and did a lot of damage. However, now, with his level limit break, it's actually gone up to 9 million. Now, as you can see there, we did 6 million damage on the Robin stage, but with all of that healing from Corazon using his special on turn 1, and then Corazon using it again, getting to the 9 million can be fairly challenging. It is a little bit hard to actually get there, and stuff like Red Haki can actually remove that. And then obviously you have the issue of stuff like normal attacks only, defensive effects like thresholds, damage reduction, all of those abilities come into play as well. So whilst Enel's captain got a massive buff, like you can run any unit under him, he's a rainbow captain at the end of the day. You can build stuff like quick teams, shooter teams, striker teams, just complete rainbow teams if you really want to, and then you get up to 5.25 times attack, depending on how much healing you got in the previous turn. He makes it very, very easy to get recovery orbs, he makes it very easy to heal, but I'm not 100% sure what the actual threshold is. As you guys saw, we're healing about 5,000 per meat orb, which is a lot, and the overheal mechanic gives him a lot more tankiness, but I do kind of wish his captain ability, instead of giving recovery orbs if you hit with type advantage, just drastically increase the chance of landing on them, and also healed if you hit a perfect with a recovery orb. I think that would have been a little bit better than something like the overheal mechanic, or the getting recovery orbs every time you hit with type advantage. But nevertheless, is what we have, and it is pretty fun. As I was saying, his special ability is fairly interesting, and the whole idea of this unit was, like I said, to stockpile healing, heal over your maximum HP, which is very easy to do with the low HP threshold, and obviously with, like, overheal now, it works exceptionally well for tanking. The whole idea was to get to the final stage, stage 4, stage 5, whatever it was, pop his special, and just kill the enemy, right? Now, as you guys will see here in Revolutionary Army 2, there was stuff like Red Haki to get rid of our healing, which was a little bit annoying, but getting to the 9 million is actually fairly challenging. We are hitting for 4.7 million with 2 Enels, but Sabo Koala still have like a quarter of their HP. That's with Big Mom's HP cut as well, so it's a bit of a yikes with how much damage you can get, but nevertheless, you still can do it. However, besides the extra damage going up from like 5 to 9 million, his special did get an extra buff, and the extra buff is kind of what makes him a lot more valuable as a character. So characters like you guys saw there before, like stuff like Chopper, stuff like Corazon, those particular legends are exceptionally powerful under Enel, as they can actually give you healing just by utilizing their special. But Enel will give you recovery orbs. If you hit with type advantage, you get recovery orbs, and you can actually get the healing that way, which works very, very nicely as well. I feel like Enel is going to be a much better hybrid captain with what he does as a captain, because getting the overheal is very, very good. Making it easy to land on recovery orbs is great, but like because you hit with type advantage, you can then get recovery orbs. The boosted chance doesn't really mean too much if you are doing your taps right. Plus, he's a rainbow captain, so you can literally hybrid him up with anyone. That obviously works alongside him. Any other rainbow captain will work perfectly. You could also use something like striker-based teams with Super Tandem Kaido. You could use like Hina. You could use Super Tandem Shanks with like quick builds. You could do shooter-centric teams with Sop or Beckman and Lucky Roo. So there's a lot of options that you actually can do with this particular legend, which is actually pretty cool. Like, I do like it a lot, but his special, besides the damage, did get a bit of a buff as well. He deals 30 times the amount of HP healed beyond the crew's maximum HP, capping at 9 million. He then boosts shooter and striker characters' slot effects by 2.25 for one turn, boosts the chain multiplier by 1.1, and if there is a slot effect boost active when you launch his special, he further increased the slot boost by 0.3. If the crew has normal attacks only, he reduces crew's ship bind and paralysis by 5 turns. So what they've done is they've sort of looked at the fact that he's gone, alright, well, normal attacks only just hard counters his character. We'll give him an additional buff that can be used if you actually have normal attacks only. Now, with this Revolution Army 2 run, I've sort of just copped the normal attacks only, and I am sort of showcasing Enel with these extra buffs. He has, excuse me, he has damage output with a slot boost. Unfortunately, it is only a 2.25, and I say only, but like 2.25 nowadays has been power crept quite severely, as we have stuff like 3 times orb boost, 3.25 times orb boost, but he does give a nice chain boost at 1.1, and which is still fairly high, right? Of course, that has been power crept as well, but obviously this character has been out for a little while. He does have a 6+, so this is probably the furthest he's going to reach in terms of the pinnacle of his power, and I do think they have done a nice job with his special. I think his captain ability got a much more significant buff than what his special buff did, but it is nice to see that they gave him something different than just sort of the damage output. They also looked at the counters of this particular character, and they also gave him something that could be used in terms of paralysis removal or ship bind removal. Now, ship bind removal isn't that prevalent in the game, and it is something that we haven't really come up against too much, but it is definitely nice to see Enel having that ability to actually get around ship bind with his special if need be. So the ability to do so is actually quite interesting. It is quite nice. But like I said, it's not something that you guys are going to be really utilizing this character for, as Limit Break sort of does that a little bit better. As well as stuff like the new Sunnyku and Rare Recruit can completely remove it as well. I feel like with ship bind, it either happens as an interrupt or if it's like 99 turns and you need to completely remove it. So there's also that as well. Nevertheless, the orb boost, the chain boost is very, very nice, but I do think they sort of held back quite a bit with this particular character. Because he's hit the pinnacle of his power, I do believe that Enel is not going to be getting any stronger than what the Enel we have is right now. Obviously, if they release a new Enel, that will be stronger. But with this 6+, with level limit break, Enel is kind of at the point where he is what he is, right? There's no making this character stronger moving forward unless they release some other mechanic that, or some other buff that can be effective in units. So the 2.25 times orbs, I would have loved to see that be 2.5 at a minimum. The 9 million damage is actually fairly challenging to get to be honest. Unless you bring a whole bunch of just healers on the team, but you obviously have to worry about debuffs and how the content plays, or do a lot of stalling that just involves a lot of healing itself. It's actually quite hard to get to that 9 million, but I do think they should have buffed it in terms of, instead of doing 30 times the attack, it should have been like 50 times, and then push that number to something like 10 million damage, or even go something even crazier and do something like 20 million damage. We have so many bosses in the game that have like over 40, 50 million HP, and don't even get me started on Kazuna, that this character just will never see that damage output. And as you guys saw, even on Revolution Army 2, Like, it was very, very hard to get the 9 million. You could do it, but I mean, it just involves so much stalling, and at that point, it's just kind of like, why though? So, the 9 million is kind of low. The 30 times really should have been 50 times, if not 100 times, right? Like, that would have just been way, way better, especially if you're going to obviously increase those numbers as well. But then, the chain boost, the orb boost, still quite on the lower end of the spectrum. I like what they did with the normal attacks only, giving him some options there. 5 turns of paralysis is great. Shipbind is kind of unique to Enel, which I do like as well. And then also being able to increase the boost of the orbs by 0.3 if you have an orb boost already enabled. Now, you guys saw that with Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo. We increased their orb boost to a 2.55, I think is what they do, 2.25, right? And that worked really, really well against Arena Bone Kitchi. But in any other situation, like, that 0.3 is kind of like, it's just kind of nice, right? It's kind of there. If you're building stuff like striker teams, if you're building stuff like shooter teams, Enel could be an option. But the fact he's orb boost and his orb boost is only for 2 classes, being striker and shooters, does kind of hold him back as well, and does make team building with his character a bit more restrictive to those classes rather than just the rainbow that they did give him. If they were going to make it quite low in 2.25, it could have just been a rainbow orb boost. I don't see why it shouldn't be. But look, he's definitely an option. He's a lot of fun to use. And like I said, he's not my playstyle per se. However, he's a cool character. Like, I do like what they've done, and I do like that we have these characters in the game that give a different dimension when it comes to actually playing different types of game modes and utilizing characters to beat the content in different ways. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on Level Limit Break 5, 6+, Kami, Enel. If you guys have this character, have you been using him? Have you checked him out? Let me know what you think down below. Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. Belt the like button, hit the big red subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Belt the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!